Today we will discuss employee assessments, the steps, resources, information sources, timelines, and goals related to its implementation. Being a small organization and having never conducted a formal process, let's start with the answer to the question, what is an employee assessment? Employee assessment can be defined as the performance appraisals or reviews used to evaluate employee performance and productivity. Essentially, it is intended to measure how good they are at what they do. So when or how often do employee assessments occur? In most organizations, and as it should happen in this organization, employee assessments happen at least once a year. However, some key considerations such as promotions, bonuses, and raises are predicated upon these assessments. So conducting them regularly is beneficial to the employee. It allows them to understand expectations and how to get better. It is important when conducting these assessments, especially being new, that employees are provided with constructive feedback. Constructive feedback includes providing them with the positive, which helps them to build their esteem, and the criticism, but it must be constructive. Constructive criticism will give them the necessary information to do better and insight into the areas in which they need to improve. So what are the necessary steps in order to ensure that this employee assessment is conducted fairly, adequately, and is beneficial to both the company and the employee? With a new implementation, it is important to remember that you must first set the objective criteria. Now, it is important to know that the objectives will vary depending on the job. So there are 10 jobs with 10 different descriptions. It is important to be very clear and concise on each description. You must then set the evaluation frequency. This frequency should be consistent across the organization as a whole and should not vary by department. You will choose the evaluation system, prepare an employee evaluation form, schedule a face-to-face meeting. Given the difference in locations from some managers to their employees, this face-to-face meeting may have to happen via video. And lastly, you should ensure policies and procedures are clear. Especially with this being a newly instituted process, you want to make sure that everyone, managers and employees alike, understand the policies and procedures and what must take place during this assessment time. There are many resources and tools that can be used to aid in this process. One such tool is the 360-degree feedback system. This is a process by which employees receive confidential and anonymous feedback from the people who work around them. This typically includes the management, peers, and direct reports. In this case, where staff and management live in varying geographical locations, this additional feedback from other sources will prove to be beneficial. It provides the employee with feedback from their peers and those who they work with day to day, as well as gives the manager information that they may not otherwise have, since they do not work in the same location. How long does this take? Implementing a new employee assessment process could take quite some time. But once you have all of the administrative work in place, the employee assessment process itself should take anywhere between 4 to 9 weeks. The average timeline for employee assessments, start to finish, is in fact 8 weeks. This timeline allows for human resource to perform necessary administrative work, as well as allows for feedback to be compiled and gathered, communicated, and ultimately wrapped up. The overall goal of employee assessments is to motivate. It is important to remember and emphasize that the assessment is to help employees accomplish both personal and organizational goals. It is important to know that we are all one, looking to accomplish the same thing. Though it may be a new process, it is rarely a mistake to conduct an employee assessment. Remember, it can be stressful on both sides. This may be exceptionally difficult when the manager does not work in the same city. It makes it a little more difficult for the employee and manager to build the type of rapport that is necessary when having those hard conversations. So, this should be handled with the utmost care and professionalism. Remember, this is meant to benefit both the employee and the organization as a whole. Thank you.